Welcome back to Eye on Columbus. I'm Robin Wallace in the studio. Now my guest has changed to DJ Jones.
How are you?
How are you?
Wonderful. Good to see you.
So good to see you. What have you been up to lately?
Man, I tell you, my life has gone full circle since we worked together some 10, 12 years ago.
Absolutely. Well, tell me a little bit about what you're doing now. Tell the audience
All
what
right.
you're doing.
Of course, Sports Visions, you know us as a television show and
Right.
a sports magazine, but we actually, my partner Dale Williams and I, 13 years ago in September, this September, we started this company, and man,
I remember that.
I tell you, it's a blessing. It really is a blessing to still be able to do what you love, wake up every day, go to work, and of course you're involved in sports. You're talking about sports, but then we've brought some other things to the table. We most recently started a sports magazine a couple of years ago, and of course several months ago we've added a bus service, a charter bus and party bus service, because again, when you think about all the games that we cover and all the venues and the concerts here and of course out of town, we could bring a group of people together, big groups, small groups together.
Trying to provide a service, a need.
Absolutely.
Because there's definitely a need for that.
But it's been going well, and thanks to a lot of partners in the community, we've been able to really make some people happy. And of course, in particular, we're more proud of the young athletes that we're able to honor. And,
Well, you do so much for the kids here in the community.
Well, again, somebody did it for us. You know, that's the main thing with what we do, and that's why we take so much pride in what we do. Dale and I both grew up in this community. We played in the Little League parks here, and again, you know, to go off to the University of Georgia, have a successful collegiate career, and I went on to the pros and had an opportunity to experience it at the highest level, and to come back home to get involved in radio and television and to start a business. It all has been a blessing.
Well, and what's great is, I mean, you know, it's great to come back home, but you love home so much, and you've given back so much to the community. And I love what you're doing now. Talk about this event that you've got coming up.
On April the 20th, that's a Thursday, the third Thursday in April, we started our inaugural last year, but our second annual Columbus Valley Area High School Female Athlete of the Year Awards.
I love it.
And, you know, of course, everybody.
Nobody does anything like that.
Not for the young ladies in particular.
No.
I mean, you always see the guys.
The guys, yes.
But Dale and I, you know, we started almost 10 years ago with our high school football awards luncheon. And we developed that, and over the years, again, thanks to a lot of our great partners in the community and supporters and sponsors. However, what we created, we didn't know quite, it ended up this great, because we've attracted national level speakers, of course. Nick Saban, the top coaches in the country. Gus Malzahn has been here to speak at our high school football awards luncheon. When Mark Rick was at the University of Georgia, he was there. But again, Kirby Smart was here just last year. Yeah. So we've, over the last few years, man, this thing has become such a phenomenal event. Matter of fact, Kirby Smart told us that this was probably one of the top high school football awards luncheons that he's been a part of. And, you know, he come from Alabama to Georgia. Wow. That's pretty impressive. And,
that is impressive.
And again,
to have it right here in Columbus.
Right here in Columbus.
That is great.
But again, to get back to our Female Athlete of the Year Awards luncheon, we wanted to make sure that we took care of the young ladies, because you know they are such an integral part of our community as well, and they do so much. Of course, you know, we've even evaluated the fact that the GPAs, you know, these young athletes, they play football, they play softball, basketball, track, they play golf, volleyball, and then they still maintain the high GPAs, which is really impressive. And we're going to have 40 of the top student athletes, female student athletes from all over East Alabama, West Central Georgia, come together, have a nice dinner, have a fabulous speaker, Columbus State University's head women's coach, Anita Howard, who just won the Peach Belt Conference title, and also the Southeast Regional title. So in her first year here at Columbus State.
Very exciting.
You know, she has some inspirational and motivational words for the young ladies.
And that's so important for them, because, I mean, this is just a stepping stone for so many of them, because, you know, out of those 40, how many are going to go on, you know, to have college careers and, you know, and have scholarships available to them? I mean, I'm sure the statistics to that are pretty high.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you mentioned that. We do need to go back and start with last year's female athletes, and of course we have a study similar for the high school football players.
Yeah.
And we currently actually have several of our awardees, past winners on the football side, playing in the National Football League. Isaiah Crowell is a two-time winner of our Sports Vision's Offensive Player of the Year. And of course, you mentioned the girls going to school. This year in particularly, one of the young ladies that we will be honoring, her name is Tatiana Wyatt from Columbus High School. She has already signed to play basketball at Kentucky, and she has a 4.2 grade point
wow.
average.
That's impressive.
That
Okay,
is
that's
impressive.
a name to be watching, though, for sure.
That's one that's
in the,
definitely
in the next 4 years.
Tatiana Wyatt.
Yeah,
But there's
absolutely.
a lot. There's like I said,
Oh,
over
yeah,
40.
there's-
You know,
yeah.
I just singled her out because she just won the state championship. She hit the big shot.
Right.
She won our Sue Walton Outstanding Female Athlete of the Year award last year. And of course, she's in tight contentions again to possibly repeat.
Wow, that's great. Well, how do you get tickets to this event? How do you participate in the event?
You can contact me or Dale. My number
Okay.
is 706-681-1136. Dale's number is 706-681-5192. We do have table sponsors available, and of course we have some higher level sponsors, but we can give you all that information when they contact us.
Okay, and then you also have a website,
Yes,
sportsvisionusa.com.
that's correct.
Tell me a little bit about some of the content on the site.
Well, you know what? You can see our weekly show. You know,
Okay.
we archive the show every week. Of course, this week's show is out right now. Again, but you can go back and see some of the shows of past, our sponsors, of course, some stories, some of the places that we've traveled throughout the Southeast during our job.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. Of course, you can find out a whole lot about what we've done and who we
Right.
are. If you say, well, who are you guys? Find out, where we grew
Well,
up.
and there's so many people new coming to the community. I
Absolutely.
mean, I've known you a long time, so
Right.
I know your background. But
Absolutely.
there are so many people that are new to this area that are constantly coming and don't realize.
And not only that, in covering sports, especially high school sports and college sports, I've been in the business going to be 20 years in radio and television here.
Right.
And of course, we've evolved. And, from my playing days in Georgia to the pros and Dale's playing days as well, we take for granted sometimes that people know us and that, what you almost have to reintroduce yourself to people. And because, again, you got
Right.
different generations that we've covered here in the Chattahoochee Valley. So we have a lot of talks about, man, look, we don't I hate to blow our own horns, but we got to let these folks know our credentials
Right.
because we are second to none.
Right, that's true. Well, tell us a little bit about some of the other things that you guys do.
Well, you know what? Again, I mentioned that we had the bus service, but
Right.
we have dabbling in the concert business. We
Yes.
did a show in 2015.
Right.
We brought in Howard Hewitt and SOS Band. We had it at the amphitheater. But again, the future projects, again, I'll be seeing you, I'm sure.
At the Civic Center,
That's
yeah,
right.
we would love to see you at the
That's
Civic
right.
Center because you guys are always. I mean, you've got so much going on. I don't know how you keep up.
Well, it's fun. It's fun,
Yeah.
and again,
well, you can tell you guys are having fun at it.
You know what? We were exposed at an early age, again, leaving Columbus, going off to the University of Georgia, and of course, experiencing the championship lifestyle in the SEC, and again, the professional experience, and then we both made the transitions out of the private sector, into the private sector from athletics. And I've worked for some tremendous companies around the country, from Mizuno USA, the sporting goods manufacturing company, to a big company up in New York, Osher Sports, medical company, Johnson & Johnson, Soul Surgical Instrumentation. Been exposed so much to so much. And same with Dale. He's been in, he had a spat in politics, and he's been, he was served on several boards here. But again, giving back to the kids is probably the most rewarding thing that we've done. And both of us, again, won championships. I've been on a Super Bowl team. Starting this business and putting us back home in Columbus to devote the time and to give this exposure to the kids, because we know what it's like to have your name called on television or on the radio. We know what it's like to get your name, get recognized at an awards luncheon where you get to come up and get a trophy, you get to put on nice clothes, but that's
And you get to bring your family out, and
Exactly.
your family gets to see, and it's like, look, I've worked so hard, and
Yes.
and I'm good.
Yes, absolutely.
That is great. Okay, Sports Vision USA. Definitely check out DJ Jones and his partner Dale Williams, because you guys have a lot going on, and I can't keep up with you. There's a lot.
That's why I'm here, to let you know what we got going
Well,
on.
that's great. Well, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it so much. DJ Jones, always a pleasure seeing you. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more of Eye on Columbus.
Hi, this is Freddie Jackson, and I'll be in your town on May 13th at the Columbus Civic Center for Mother's Day. So come on out so I can rock you for old time's sake.